Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, September 2nd, and I'm going to start the show off today with a little bit of an announcement. If you did not finish last week's episode, here's the announcement. This podcast, Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva, will begin to debut next week on Thursday in the mornings, not in the night. So if you've been kind of getting used to it being at night, if you get it at night and maybe you're going to bed and you listen to it on Friday when you wake up, I'm doing this because I feel like it's a better option to have in the morning where you can like wake up, listen to it, and it doesn't feel like you're a day behind, because I do say Thursday. It is Thursday, whatever date. So that's going to be a little bit of a change. Instead of Thursday nights, the show will be coming out on Thursday mornings. So mark it down, starting next week, which will be September 9th, will be the first time it's going to be coming out on Thursday mornings and not Thursday nights. So just so you're prepared for next week, that way it doesn't catch you off guard. If you're listening to this, that way you know that it's going to be changing by next week. So just so you know. And yes, that is the big announcement. That is all that I had to say. All right, nothing, not canceling it, not departing, not taking a week off, just letting you know that's going to be coming out at a different time, still the same day on Thursday. That's just so I can be able to catch up on Thursday Night Football and watch the games and hopefully be able to break that down, have some opinions, and have some, thoughts on the games, because this year, I guess, is going to be a brand new, fresh start in terms of fantasy football in my life. And that's going to be coming up shortly. But first, I kind of wanted to get to a little bit of something I was thinking about earlier this week, and maybe a couple times a couple weeks ago, is people are kind of like, not people, but I even kind of think about this too. Isn't it kind of weird that we drink another animal's milk, if that makes any sense? Like, we drink cow's milk, goat's milk, other types of milk, and we just keep doing it. Like, we don't drink like human milk, and unless we're like babies and infants when we needed it, but we don't like serve freshly milked human milk. That just sounds odd, even though that we drink it when we're babies because we need it. But we drink, for luxury and for taste, and maybe for like a midnight snack, whether it be like a bowl of cereal or cookies and milk. We drink that. It's been a thing in our diet and like how we live as people for so long. And like, you think about it, why people would say like, why are the only species that drinks like other people's milk? And I also kind of wondered that too, because it is strange. But I think it's because, well, one is another good source of calcium. I think that's been a thing for a long time. Also, it just tastes good. Like, I have no problem admitting that I eat food that just tastes good. Might not be the best for me, but you don't have to like drink like a bunch of milk, a day, maybe a glass or two. Like, I just had a glass of milk right now before I recorded this podcast, and it tasted amazing. And it was whole milk too. I haven't had whole milk in like years. I usually get like 2% milk, and like this milk tasted amazing. It was so good. And also, like, does that also, like, if you say that like I don't drink milk because it's weird and we drink, like, we shouldn't be drinking another animal's milk, but like, does that also apply to like ice cream and cheese, or does it just for milk? Because like, it's basically all like, all these dairy products are using milk from a cow or a goat or whatever. And like, if you indulge in ice cream or you indulge in cheese more than you do milk, like, can you even have that same opinion? Can you have that, can you say that? Like, why would you drink another animal's milk if you're eating cheese or ice cream? I don't think you can, because I think that just automatically puts you out of the conversation. Like, well, you're eating all this stuff. Or what if you eat like what else is made of dairy that's really delicious? Like cream in your coffee. Is that also like, hey, you can't talk about that, bro. You can't out everybody else out because you're eating like another form of a dairy product. Like, that's just kind of stupid. What about like all the like baking ingredients, like pancakes or whatever, that use milk or something like that? Do you also say it like that? Or like, do you like get mad about that? Like, you shouldn't be able to, because it's just another brand of milk, another type of dairy product. And in my opinion, man, dairy is delicious. It really is. Like, I don't eat it a ton, or drink it a ton, but when you do after a while, it tastes good. Now, if you're lactose, I can see why you might, cling to that opinion or just, avoid milk at all costs. But if you're not lactose, and I think that sometimes people, everybody can kind of be a little bit of a lactose intolerant person. Because even like when I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, and I have a bowl of cereal, right? Sometimes that milk and that cereal, and it wouldn't be bad. It'd usually be, before the expiration date, but it would usually sometimes, and this is very often, but it would like make my stomach like growl, and I'd have like maybe like explosive diarrhea for like a while. It's like, oh, I know what fucked me up. It was that milk. But that's very rare though. Like it happens like maybe once or twice a month. But it's like, damn, like I think that it just proves that like we all aren't like 100% like fully what would be the good word? Like we can't really digest milk that great still. Like even though like if you're not lactose, you can digest it a lot better than somebody who is lactose. But even though like you aren't, like you still got a little bit of a problem. Like not like it's not like gonna hurt you, or it's not like that bad. It's just not perfect. It's also like, eating corn. Like, I don't know if you've ever eaten corn before, like, or if you eat like corn and then you go to the bathroom and you can kind of tell that corn doesn't digest at all, really. Like, sometimes it just doesn't digest. And it's like, wow, why do we eat this? Well, because it tastes good. Fucking tastes amazing. Like corn, especially, and then you got cream corn, which is like a double whammy of like undigestible foods. I mean, like, if you get cream and then corn, obviously that's going to have some dairy in it. So then, boom, like a double dose of, not 100% digestible foods that we're eating. But it's good, though. And, like, corn is, like, becoming, like, this thing, like, everybody, like, uses corn for their farms, like, whether it's, like, cows and all that. You hear about cows eating corn and, like, they can't really digest it. So they got to, I saw this video, like, of a cattle farm. And they had to like drill a hole in like the cow because it couldn't digest the corn properly. It was so fucking bizarre. I was like disturbed by it. I was like, oh my god, yeah, feed these cows some grass. But I get it, like again with the pricing and all that of grass and like how we grow grass and all that. Like it is tricky because we're all in this like the era of like processed food and like factory manufactured or like big farm foods and all that, and everybody's got to be able to. It was because like we don't no longer hunt and gather for our food. We just kind of go to the store and that's it. We buy whatever we need for that night or that week, and then we just deal with it. It doesn't cross our minds like where's this coming from, or at least for me sometimes it doesn't. Like sometimes I'll think about it like, how did this meat or this steak or this chicken or pork chop get there? Like how did that happen? And I always like tend to think like, I mean, I certainly do care about how these animals are treated, but it's like I gotta eat, man, and I'm not gonna go hunting because, for one, I don't know how to hunt. Two, I live like nowhere near like where I can hunt, and three, I'm also kind of afraid to hunt. I'll be honest with you. I've seen videos of people hunting, and I always think that I probably could hunt because again, I'm just killing one animal. If I use like the animal for like everything, then it wouldn't feel as bad, I guess. But again, I've never hunted, so I always think that yeah, I could do it, but I would also be kind of a scaredy cat about it because I don't know. It's just I don't think like I can turn that on in my brain of like the primal instinct of like hunting food for survival. Maybe obviously if we were all like starving, we would be able to do it because our survival or instincts would kick in. But since we've been living off of like store-bought food and all that stuff, going to restaurants whenever you want to eat food, going to McDonald's whenever you want a bite to eat, like that is like kind of like moved on from our society and from our like pretty much like how we operate as humans now. It's kind of pretty much all gone. Like we've evolved so much, like we don't need any of that. And it's like how do we even like, if we had to go back to those times of hunting and gathering, would we be able to do it? I think it would take some time, but yeah, I think we would. But I honestly I don't think that a lot of people would want to go hunt or gather for their own food. I think that because we have like these, again, the big factory, the big farm corporation, food, processing. It's just like it's made us like, this way of like, oh, we got the food there, we just go get it and buy it, and that's it. And it just kind of like, it also kind of like disconnects us from like nature. I think of like whenever you like go hunting, even though like some people are going to be like, you're killing an animal. Yes, I agree with that. That's a bad thing. That can be a bad thing in the eyes of some people. But also, it's like, well, this is what I eat. Like, this is my food. Like, I don't go to the store. I don't buy big, butchered meat. Like, and I know where my meat's being like processed or where it's being cut up or butchered and prepared. And I hunt it myself and I do all that. You listen to those people and like, well, yeah, they kind of have a point, because that is kind of smart. Like, that's actually smarter than like getting your beef from like, some shady market or whatever, some store. There could be like an E. coli outbreak or outbreak, or like some kind of like neurovirus or some kind of like illness or disease that'll like outbreak from like that. Or there's also like all these recalls like with meats all the time. I don't know why it is, but like every time I get Chipotle, I sort of like get this bad feeling in my stomach, and I was kind of wondering like, why is this happening like every time? Like, and I was talking to my dad one time, and he was telling me that like one of his like coworkers that would get Chipotle a lot, or somebody that he knew would get it a lot, and that the person would be getting like stomach pain after that they would eat Chipotle. And like, this has got to be like and then you always hear like Chipotle's got a recall on their steak or their chicken or whatever, and it's like, oh well, like I feel like that happens a lot with Chipotle, and it's like, well, why? But why would that happen though? Because everything there is like quote unquote fresh, or it's like prepared freshly. So I don't know like what's happening there. Like, and I don't want to keep like eating Chipotle. I'm not saying that I eat Chipotle like every week. I don't, but like whenever you're like feeling a burrito, like want a nice hearty Mexican-ish food, air quotes on Mexican-ish. It's a go-to. It's a solid meal, whether it be lunch or dinner. It's solid. Like it's not gonna do any bad. It's not that expensive either. It tastes pretty good. It's like it's a solid go-to. Somewhat luxurious fast food item. It's pretty good, but it's like, I don't know. Just thinking about like how would we ever go back to hunting and gathering days if we could, like today's age? Like, could we even do that? I don't know if like the majority of us could. I mean, maybe if we were like absolutely forced, but like there's also like a lot of people that hate the killing of animals. They hate like owning weapons, whether it be a bow or a rifle or whatever. People also don't like, people are lazier than they've ever been. Like, are they going to plant like, vegetables? Are they going to plant fruits? Like, how are they going to know how to do all this? Do they know how to plow? Do they know what kind of soil to get? It's like, it would take so much effort in learning to be able to do that again. And I don't think that it's possible now, because again, we aren't born into a farming, family back in like the 1800s where we had to do all this, or even way back in maybe like the 1600s where we had to like actually go out and hunt things and, prepare food and all that. Like, we just aren't grown up in that environment, so we don't need to know it anymore. And that, going back to like the disconnect from nature, it feels like whenever you go outside and like, whether you're like on the beach, the mountains, on a hike or whatever, you kind of feel like this connection. Like it feels good out there. The air is fresh usually. It's you see like a deer or like a bear, and you're like, oh my god, that's a deer or bear. Like, you forget about, like, especially if you live in the city a lot, you forget that there's other animals out there that are just like living their lives. And we're also animals too on this planet. Like, yes, we are like super smart, compared to like a deer or a bear, or like even like a chimpanzee, who like they can't be like us. Maybe with some like science fiction serum like in Planet of the Apes, but like not naturally, at least not yet. That they haven't evolved that far yet to be that smart. But it's like we're like the only creature that's like, hey, look at that bear. That's a bear right there, and like that thing could kill me. I might want to back up a bit, but also like think about it like also like, oh well, if he attacks me, I might have to fight it back. Or also like maybe like, hey, like maybe I should maybe climb a tree, or hey, maybe I should get my bear spray out. Like, if you're prepared in that sense. It's just funny how like much like we probably think into a situation like that, and how like little like another animal would, like either like stay. Can I stay where I am? Like, if it's like a chipmunk, right? And he runs into like a grizzly bear. He's got like two options, right? The chipmunk's got like, I can either stay here and chill out like I have been, and when this bear just rolled up on me, or I can climb up this tree and run. He's got like two options. We have like, I could stay. Can I move forward and with my hike? Do I need to pull out my bear spray? Do I got to call somebody? Do I got to maybe move to the side? Like, maybe I'm just overthinking it, and maybe I'm underestimating a chipmunk's brain. I could be, but it's just like we think things over and over, like whenever we're pressed into that situation of basically fight or flight. So it's like, it's crazy. I don't know. I've just been thinking about that. Like, that all stemmed from milk, because it's, people are like, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, but we also have cars. We also have, we make things. We industrialize. We plant things. Does an animal plant? No, it just kind of moves on and just lives. I mean, the only thing that I can think of like is like actually close to like industrialization, like we do, is like a beaver. I mean, those motherfuckers build dams and all that. I've seen videos of them, how they build dams. It's pretty interesting. Like they go over there, they chop the wood with their teeth and break it down, and they bring the logs to a dam, and they just kind of form it. Like, and it's pretty interesting. Like, it's really, really cool. Like, if you think about it, like that's like the only animal like that actually kind of like builds things out of other materials that is like similar to us, like a wooden log. Like, I don't think like a chimp like kind of does that. Like, they don't like build like a tree house or whatever. They don't build like a hut or a house. I don't think they have, but no, I could be wrong. But from what I can tell, like the beaver's like one of the bigger like animals that actually does that, and it's really cool. If you haven't like checked it out, like if you ever like, never really thought of how do they build the dam, like, you see like in I don't know if you guys seen that movie Open Season with Martin Lawrence and Ashton Kutcher, when it's animated, so it's like kind of like a cartoon, or it is a cartoon, but it's like, it's funny because like they make the beavers like construction workers, and like they're like all hard hats and all that, and they're all very like hard-headed and all that. It's kind of funny, but like actually seeing a beaver make a dam in real life is very interesting. It's very, very cool. We kind of like got like, I mean, like the way that they do it, it's very like smart too. Like they'll build it, and they'll build like tunnels like in the river, in the lake, that where they're trying to build the dam, and then like burrow underneath there, and then pop right up in their dam, or in like a cavity dome in their dam. It's like, it's very, very cool. And like they do that for like to stay warm in the winter. They stock up their food in there. It's like, it's really neat. And the way that they look too, like they got that flat ass tail. There's some interesting animals out there that I like, that you probably don't even remember like are actually an animal. Like I remember, like I think I was watching Animal Planet one day, and I forgot that a sea otter was actually an animal. I was like, what? Wait a minute, what the fuck? And it's like, it's pretty much like a freshwater sea lion. It just kind of like swims. It's got like a tail and shit. Maybe it has a tail. I don't even know. It's got a long ass body, but those things are actually kind of vicious though. They got like sharp teeth, claws. I've seen them like growl at people and other animals. And it's like, those things are not meant to be, fucked with, because like we've like, I think that they were in like a show like back when I was a kid. I think it was Franklin. Like Franklin had a friend named Otter, but he looked like it was a cute little animal. Like so was Franklin too, but it was like, they made them so kitty and friendly and cute and all that, and it was like, oh, that's a cool animal. Later in life, you learn about otters, like they can potentially hurt you, like scratch you up, claw you, bite you. Got to be careful with that. Got to be careful. And this past weekend, actually, a little bit of a segue. I didn't like volunteer. I was kind of like dragged in to go help my baby brother move his apartments, because he was moving apartments. And let me tell you this: there's nothing I think that can more ruin a day than helping somebody else move like from place to place. It is tragic. It is one of the most time consuming. You think that you're going to be done earlier than you might think that it's going to be easier. Like, how much stuff could he possibly have in his apartment? How much stuff could he really have that we need to move? And you think about that, and then you show up to the house, and it's like, we have a ton of shit that we got to move now, and we got little time with the U-Haul. We got to get everybody on board. And it sucks because, like, this guy, I mean, like, I remember I gave this guy advice, like, hey, bro, like, 2 weeks before I was going to go up there, like, bro, like, make sure that you empty out your refrigerator, kind of time it to, like, don't buy so much food at the end of the week or whatever, to try to, like, let it, like, eventually, like, when we get there, it should be pretty much empty. That was not the case. The guy had a bunch of food in there. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? So we had to like get these. Luckily, he had boxes. We got these boxes. We filled them up with the food and all that. And like, dude, like honestly, if you guys have ever moved a fridge, those things are fucking. They weigh a ton. Even when they're empty, it's like Jesus Christ, bro. But it's like we had to get that on a dolly, and we had to like get it out of the apartment complex. Which, if you've ever been to one of those, or if you live in one, it's like it can be like a journey. But luckily, like we parked like right by his apartment, so that thank God. So we got that on there, and then we got a bunch of his food. Then we had to drive all the way back to his new apartment, which luckily was like 10 minutes away. Thank God. And then we also got like a couple shelves and a desk or two, a table. We got all that done. And it was one of the most annoying processes ever, because I haven't helped anybody move in like, I don't even think I've ever helped anybody move. Like, this might be the first time I've ever done that. And it's like, bro, like next time I'm going to hire you a mover, because this is just taking up so much time. I'm sweaty. I'm already out of shape as it is. And it's just like, bro, like all this stuff is fucking like heavy. Like this dude had a bench, like a workout bench in his old apartment, which he took there, but he had like a ton of weights, and like, bro, like it was so stupid just moving, because you gotta move a chair, a desk, a table, a refrigerator, a bed, a mattress, a box spring, a bed frame, all that. You move all that stuff. You're like, okay, we got to move all that. Yeah, it's going to be heavy, but it's not going to be, like it could be lighter than we think or heavier than we think. Who knows? But when you actually move like weights that you can put on like a dumbbell or a barbell, it's like, it's so annoying, because you know how much you're carrying, and that you can't actually, carry that much of it, because a little weight is going to be like, oh, it looks kind of small. I could probably pick it up. It's 30 pounds. It's like, oh my God, bro, this is fucking miserable. We have so many. The guy had so many weights. I'm like, bro, the gyms are open again. You could sell this. Like, go sell this and, lose this, free up your space. Maybe he might take up my offer. Who knows? But it was just like, it was so annoying, because like, we had a dolly, but that was it. Like, so not a lot of things we could put on a dolly other than the fridge. Maybe like a couple other things, but we didn't use that. It was just like we took 3 full trips of loading up the U-Haul, because we didn't get an actual U-Haul, like, the big ones that are like a big gigantic cabin in the back with a pull down door or whatever. You can fit a lot of shit in there. No, we got like a cheap poor man's U-Haul, right? We got a U-Haul pickup truck. Now, granted, the bed was bigger than a normal bed. I mean, thank God. But still, it took so many trips and so much time and effort just getting up on the truck and putting everything in there. And again, they had a lot of stuff in that apartment, more than I thought. And I was just like, bro, what is this? But, it was fine. We got Chick-fil-A at the end of the day. We made it because we had to bring back the U-Haul before 7 p.m., which we did, thank God. And we got everything down. But, like, bro, like, also, like, his new apartment, by the way, his old one was on the first floor, which was fine because you can just, stroll to the truck and load everything up on the truck. His new apartment, though, is on the second floor, and we had to go up some stairs. And just imagine hauling up a refrigerator upstairs. I mean, oh my God. Like, I was done after the first trip. I was like, I'm exhausted. I need to rest. I'm fucking famished. I'm starving. Like, I just got to take a break, but we couldn't, because we had a lot of more shit to do. We had to go back, again, like I said, 2 more trips. We had to stop to get some waters and Gatorades and some protein bars, body armor, juices, whatever. Those were pretty good, by the way. And like, it took forever, bro. It was one of the most annoying, irritating days, and also exhausting days that I've had in a while. Like, moving somebody is no joke. It's never just like we got to move a couple things. I mean, especially because he had to move his entire apartment, so it's like we had to move like pretty much a mini house. So it was terrible. I mean, thank God that we actually did it in time and we got it done within a day. But it was, oh man, back-breaking. I was sore the next day. My entire body was so sore because, for one, my arms, because like you just had to carry a bunch of shit, and like it was just bad, dude. It was horrible. Like, I had a bad time. And, at the end of the day, I know, I'm thankful that we did because, like, I helped out my brother. It was a nice gesture. It was good. I felt good at the end of the day. Like, at least we got that guy moved in. Now he's feeling better. He's got his new apartment. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, we got that. But still, it's like, if we would have gotten a mover, it would have saved us so much stress and trouble and planning and annoyingness and just stress. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm happy that we did it. I'm happy that we were able to help him out. I love my baby brother so much. I would, do that for him in an instant. And I was like, okay. When he said, like, when my dad was like, we're going to go help out your brother move, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm down. My other brother came too as well. So, like, we had tons of help. But yeah. But, not a good not a good way to use up a Saturday. It's just like, you could be doing other things. But, it's like one of those days, like, you felt like you did a good day's work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be doing what you're doing. You don't want to be doing anything like it at all. You want to be doing something. You want to be lounging. For me, you want to be watching sports. Maybe playing a little video games, maybe chatting with your friends, maybe hanging out with your friends, going out to dinner, watching a movie, doing anything else. But after the end of the day, after the hard day's work, you just can't help but feel, kind of good. And maybe even better than you thought, though, because, like, there's just, like, an accomplishment feeling that you get when you do that. And I can't argue it. It feels good. It feels great. I feel like I accomplished a lot of things. But still, brother, I'm going to get you a mover. Because that, again, I don't got to do that again. Not for at least another couple years. I mean, maybe one more time, like in my own place or my own situation, whatever. But, like, I may, but I'm not looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. We don't got to talk about that no more. Other bad news that just came out yesterday, and if you've been following this podcast, if you've been following this program, if you know me, you know one of the big things that I love in this world, in this life, is watching films, watching movies on the big screen, whether it be there, digging the new HBO Max and the Paramount Plus and the Disney Plus releasing it simultaneously, because there's some movies, let's be honest, where even back before the thing, the catastrophe of the medical world, I would actually kind of, I would pick and choose my movies because, like, again, I had no press screenings, I had no invitations, I had to go buy that myself, the tickets myself. And if there was a movie that didn't look up to par for me, that I was like, I like movies a lot, I'm a movie guy, but if there's one that I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to see that, even if it is, like, even, back before, back in 2019, 2018, I would still be like, do I need to see that in theaters or can I wait? There was a lot of movies that would come out that I'd be like, oh, I'll wait for that, or that's a day one, or that's a, I can wait for Netflix or streaming services or whatever. But nowadays, like, you kind of like you can put your relax a bit more because everything's coming out on streaming services as well as, theaters, like especially with HBO Max, you don't got to pay any extra. It's just there for you. So that's super tempting. That's how I watched The Suicide Squad, how I watched Godzilla vs. Kong, Wonder Woman 1984. I got a lot of thanking for HBO Max for doing that because, I just enjoy it. But now, however, I do still enjoy the theater, but it's just like, what movies am I going to pick, right? What am I going to pick? And I've been set, and I even saw, like, Jungle Cruise in theaters, and I saw, what was it? I saw it recently, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard in theaters, and I saw, it was recently, A Quiet Place Part 2 in theaters during the pandemic. But, like, there was one movie that has been eluding me, almost like avoiding me, actually, if I'm being honest, since it was first announced, or kind of like first shown off, I guess. And that is Top Gun Maverick. When it first showed the trailer at Comic-Con in 2019, back in July 2019, I was so hyped, I was so thrilled, I was so excited to finally see this movie in the theaters. And then, the pandemic hit, got pushed back, got delayed. It was supposed to happen in 2020, got pushed back to 2021. This current year, it's already September 2nd of this year, by the way. We're getting close to the holiday season, fall and winter. So like I'm thinking like it's already going to be slotted in November of this year. I'm like, I mean, this is going to be a good. This is going to be a good fall, a good winter. I'm going to be enjoying this. I am absolutely seeing that movie in theaters, IMAX, if what have you. And then I get the news yesterday. Yesterday is a big day of bad news. It's delayed again, another delay, and not just till 2022, like January, February, but next May. So it's going to be coming out in May 2022, and I'm so devastated because now it's just like, bro, these people don't want me to see their movie. And like everybody of my friends, my friends are like, they laugh at me, they point and laugh because I've been saying how much I want to see Top Gun Maverick in the theaters and I just want to see it and I'm so excited, but it just keeps getting delayed. And all of a sudden, like, I'm the joke of my friend group now because the movie that I wanted to see since 2019 is being delayed yet again. It's almost like these movies are going to be so irrelevant with the times, because movies tend to make like their dialogue, their their sets like in sort of like a modern time of like who's the president or what's happening in the world and all that, with product placement and all that, with little cameos and all that. So what if this movie is like so 2020 that when it comes out in 2019, it's going to feel outdated. It's going to feel like it's a little like out of misplaced. I'm hoping that Top Gun doesn't have a lot of that stuff, but like it potentially could. There's always that possibility. So it's just like I need this movie out now, but it just keeps getting pushed back. It's like, bro, like they've been sitting on this movie for like 2 years now. Like it's just gonna feel weird now. Like, and it is because of the pandemic and like. It is getting, the cases tick up again and everybody's getting scared. Corporations, studios are getting scared. Like, well, a lot of people aren't going to be going to the theaters to see it. Well, what are we going to do now? And then I do agree that they need to be, focused on the theatrical release and all that. But it's just like, okay, like this might continue for like a while. So like maybe we just got to release it now, with that, with the the hybrid release and just kind of swallow your pride and just do it for this one because again, this is not a new movie. This is an older movie that had to have come out by now. I should have already seen Top Gun Maverick right now as I'm recording this. I should have already seen it, but I haven't yet. So it's like, how much more are you gonna wait? How much more are you gonna wait? Like I'm dying to see this movie. I'm dying to see it. I just want to see it right now. So it's like. It is Tom Cruise, and he's like big on theatrical releases, big on the theater experience. I get it, I understand, but it's like, dude, it's gonna be 2 years now since it was supposed to come out. Since you first released a trailer, it's gonna be 3 years by the time of that. Like pretty much almost close to 3 years by then. It's like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, what's happening? I get the whole scare of the coronavirus and all that, but it's just like, I don't know. I really don't know. I want to see it so badly. It's like, bro, but the theaters are open. Like, they're not shut down. You'll get some money. I'm sure, like, if it's a good movie, it's like people will flock to see it. I mean, Jungle Cruise made a lot of money, like, seeing that. Free Guy made a ton of money, even though it was, pandemic movie, I guess. Pandemic scare movie. People still went to go see that. It's like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's like we were also like in this country, like we're at the point. It's like I don't know if we can like shut down everything again. I might be wrong on that, but that feels like it's like gonna be like that'll hurt the economy like even more than it's already hurt. Because I mean, if you haven't like noticed like going shopping or ordering like items on, Amazon, whatever, there's like shortages like at a lot of stores and a lot of parts and all that. And I remember my dad was saying like. There's like a shortage of like car parts and all that. Like there's a shortage of like, look at Thigh Stop. It used to be Wing Stop. Is that still a thing? I'm not even sure, but like you can't doubt that it has affected the way that we, make money in this country and have the economy and the production lines and all that. So it's just, it's a big old mess, man. This whole pandemic has fucked us. Like it's just, we're going to be fucked for years. Like, and everybody's like, it's going to be better next. I don't know, man. I don't mean to be like a bummer right now, but I don't know because, I don't know. I mean, we're not like quarantining really. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. We're not like doing like a national lockdown, yet at least. So I don't know what's the whole big deal of delaying these movies. If they don't delay Spider-Man, but they'll delay Top Gun. Like, what is that even? Like, Spider-Man is going to come out. First of all, it's going to come out later in December, and that's going to probably be another hybrid release with Disney Plus. So that's going to be like a double whammy right there. I mean, like, I want to see that in theaters as well. But like, if Disney is not going to delay their movie, like, why is Paramount delaying theirs? Like, I don't get it. I doubt that they're going to delay like Dune or whatever. Well, that comes out in October, I think, or maybe November. I'm not sure, but like they're not going to delay that because they got the HBO Max thing. Also, The Matrix 4 is supposed to come out this year, I think, and I've seen nothing on that. No trailer, no teaser, nothing. Like, is that even going to come out now? So it's like these. It's just crazy, bro. The content drought, I would say, like between new movies and new games is just like it's real right now. Like I was playing yesterday. I mean, like I failed myself yesterday. I failed myself because I said that I would never, ever, ever play Fortnite. And last night, I did. Because I was bored and I wanted to play with my friends and my brothers and all that. And I was just like, you know what? Fortnite won. Fortnite beat me. I was going to be like, they're getting all these properties when it comes to John Wick, Halo, Superman, DC, Marvel, Star Wars. They got all these properties, all these fucking skins for your character. All the music with the emotes and all that. They got everything. Basically what Fortnite is just the pop culture of the 2010s/2020s. It's all it is. In one game, it's pop culture in this modern era. That's all it is. And they also got like, characters like in Star Wars from back in the day. They have, Marvel characters from the comic books. They have the old school X-Men, I think. And they have all these different characters. They got, for God's sake, they have Will Smith from Bad Boys, Mike Lowry in Fortnite. I mean, they got everything. They have the song Gundam Style. They have Lil Nas X music, Dua Lipa music. They got a bunch of shit that's just pop culture for the modern era. And, like, that's fine and all. But at some point, I'm thinking, like, dude, they're just going to put everything in this game? Everything? More characters, more skins, more emotes, more music, more references, more Easter eggs, more cameos. Like when does it end? I'm not like... I guess I can't hate on it that much because I play it, or I've played it recently. But it's just like, I was wanting to hold out so hard because I just wanted for Fortnite to die. Back when it was the thing, I just like, let it die. I'm done with it. I also, being somebody who's never played it until like yesterday, pretty much, I played it on like somebody else's Xbox under my account, which was bizarre because I'm like, why am I level 2 in this thing? I never even played it on my Xbox. But I think I did log into my brother's Xbox and played it on there. But I was just like, I'm not going to put that shit on my Xbox console. No fucking way. But you know what? I ended up doing it. So now I'm the loser. I've lost. I have been defeated by Fortnite. Fortnite has defeated me. And there's nothing I can do about it. Just, bow to Fortnite's, feet, kiss the ring of Fortnite. Just kiss the ring, because there's nothing else I can do. I've been defeated. I've lost. And people will say, no, Alex, that's a good thing. You have gotten into Fortnite, a fun battle royale game, a fun game in general. You're going to play with your friends, your brothers. You're going to have fun, Alex. No, I'm sorry. But this is personal. This is more than you know. This is a battle that I've been having for years. A siege, of a crusade of denying Fortnite, denying everything about it, denying Epic Games except for Rocket League, denying all that crap. But I've now bent the knee. I've kissed the ring. I have failed. And you know what? The game is sort of fun. I might be able to stick around with it. I might not. Not sure. But, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, it is a lot easier to get a win in that game than fucking Warzone, I'll tell you that. I mean, yesterday I was playing with my brothers and we got 2 wins in a row. I was kind of shocked. I was like, really, dude, this seems kind of easy. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, Warzone can feel sweaty. Warzone can feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. But this one, and I know it was the first 2 games, but it just felt like a walk in the park. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, if this is going to be it, I might, rack up some kills, some wins, some victory royales or whatever you call it. So, like, we'll see how it goes. I'm interested. I'll check it out for a while. I'll see how it goes. If it's not bad, I'll leave. I'm just saying. But, I had to kiss the ring. I did. Downloading it on my Xbox, it was tough. I got to tell you, it was very tough. Loading it up for the first time on my own box and loading it up and opening everything, you get pummeled with all these promotions, unlock this skin, buy the battle pass, buy this, buy that, and I'm like, oh Jesus, man, it's already happening. I'm already sucked in. I've lost this battle. Well, you know what? You gotta live and learn, right? Gotta live and learn. I mean, this might have been a big defeat for your boy Alex, but it also might be, it might be a good thing. This might become a better thing. It might allow me to have a little bit more fun with my friends. With my Xbox, because lately I just not been wanting to play it because, again, there's no new game out there. No new fun game that's kind of like been a thing. Everybody's kind of dipping off Warzone because, they don't like whether it be the cheaters, they're just bored of the game, they want more weapons, they want a different map, new additions to the map. This might have to deal with it. I might have to deal with Fortnite for a while and just kind of, suck it up and do it. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough, but pray for me. I mean, I know that I've already kind of made a sin by getting it. It does kind of sting a bit, but I'm going to need your help and support to get me through this hard time. It's been tough. It really has been. Now, I alluded to fantasy football in the beginning of the podcast because I'm getting back into it. I've had about 2 to 3 years of no fantasy football, and that's just because people didn't want to do it in my friend group. Maybe want to take a break. Maybe we didn't want to make it interesting. Maybe people probably didn't care as much about it as I did. But I also too back then was like, I could take a break from this for a while. I didn't maybe we'll just take a break. I was thinking that back when I quit, not quit, but didn't do it. Also other people in my friend group didn't want to do it. And now I'm in a new group, and now when I'm new people, some of my friends, my brother, in a new league. And I gotta say, I'm excited. For one, because the draft got pushed back to this coming up Sunday, because it was going to be last Saturday. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be moving my brother in. I can't do it. Luckily, the commissioner, God bless him. He changed the date to this Sunday at 2 p.m., so I'll be drafting this weekend. I'm excited. I got a game plan already. I got some picks in store. I pretty much got a tier list of pretty much the main player, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, and quarterbacks, all kind of set to go. I was getting excited. I was ready. Made a draft plan. Got criticized for that. I'm not gonna name names, but you know who you are. I'm ready. I'm ready. But the only thing is, today, September 2nd, the draft order came out. I gotta say, your boy is disappointed. Your boy Alex is picking last in the draft. So I gotta prepare and redo my plan a bit and try to make it for the best, because we got 12 people in this league, 12 people, and this is gonna be painful if who I get and who I can't get and who I'm going to be stuck with. I'm just going to be sad because I watch the NFL a lot. Having 12 players is kind of a lot for a league. Kind of a lot. It's not like 32, obviously, but it's just going to be, there's going to be a big margin of talent and, within the league. So I'm going to be stressing out a bit. But I'm prepared. I think I prepared a little bit more than other people did, so I think maybe I can get away with some picks, even though I don't doubt any of these people, though, by the way. I only doubt maybe one, but other people, I don't doubt them, because I'm sure that they know football. They wouldn't have done it if they didn't know football, and I think that it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be fun. I do think that I might be out of luck in a bit. I've already alluded to that, but it's going to be an uphill battle. I'm just saying. But I'm going to have the results for that next week. I'll list my team next week after I draft them. I'm really excited, by the way, if you can't tell. It's been a while, and I just want to get that, that weekly vibe going back of that weekly competition of being in a fantasy football league, trading, letting players go, making trades, preparing matchups, looking at matchups, because, again, I am a football guy. Now, I'm not the biggest expert on fantasy football, but I do enjoy football, and fantasy football also for me. Back when I would play it every year, I was really, really, really into the games, all the games. I was just super locked in, and that's kind of what really birthed my. I did that before, I would watch Red Zone before I was in fantasy football, but fantasy football just enhances that a little bit more. Like, it just makes it more competitive, and it makes it more like, oh, I got to watch every game now. I got to watch everything. I got to see how my teams are doing. It's almost like you kind of get like that with like that feel of like a live bettor, if that makes sense. You watch every game, you see who's catching the balls, you see who's scoring, you see if your kicker's doing any well, your defense, whatever. It's just it's fun. It really is fun, and it enhances the viewing of football. And I think that if you are like on the fence about it and you want to try to like get into fantasy football, I would just say, like, do your best. Get your closest friends, kind of like get a little bit of education on it. Like, how does it work? What's the point system? How does that going to work? How is playoffs and all that? Especially because this year we are going to be playing 18 weeks of football. So like we're going to be getting an extra week, which means that the playoffs are going to be longer. How's that going to work out? But I encourage you, if you're new to it, if you're interested, check it out. Make sure you got enough people, though, because if you don't, it's not going to work. You got to make sure that you have at least, I would say, a good league is about 6 or 8. Like, starting league. You're going to have good teams, but it might be boring. But if you have more people, just know that the players are not going to be as abundant. You're going to be like stuck with a lot of like players that you might not even thought that you would have drafted. It might be like, oh, I never would have drafted that guy. Like if you had like the number 1 pick situation, you know what I'm saying? So like, just try it out. If you're curious, try it out. I think it's fun. I think it's worth doing. Also, we're gonna have a little bit of a wager in the league, so like it's kind of like a bet in a way. So like that's gonna be a big incentive to keep going, to keep battling, to keep trading, to keep tinkering with the lineups and all that, because sometimes you can fall off. Like, I'll admit, like, when you might take a week off, be like, look at your lineup and like, oh, that'll be good against that team. But you could have prepared better. You might have, and you ended up losing that game. But if you prepared better and you looked at the lineup better and you were paying more attention, you probably could have won that week. So you just gotta be really zeroed in. It's not like gonna take over your life, but also you just can't half-ass it, especially if you want to win, if there's money on the line. So wish me luck, everybody. Fantasy football starts again next Thursday, along with the season. I'm excited. Football is back. I'm ready to go. Closing segment. You're going to say, Alex, you already talked about fantasy football, man. That was already the sports section. Well, we didn't get to the real football. A lot happened this week. Since, maybe not this week, but since I last recorded and put out a podcast, a lot has happened. And just to get you caught up to speed about what has been happening in the NFL, there's a couple stories that I saw that I'm like, okay, we got to talk about this on the podcast. What happened there? How did this happen? I mean, what's going to happen with the future of this team? So let's break it down. Now, last week we talked about Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars under the head coach of Urban Meyer, who I think that is going to ruin his career. And I've said that, and I back it up, and I think that a lot of people are actually latching onto that opinion, because after I recorded my podcast, I went back to see, because I try not to view a lot of ESPN stuff, because I want to see if I can, at least until after that I recorded it, right? And at least until after that I've, put out my opinion and see like where they land on this. And a lot of the people, like especially on ESPN, were kind of like siding with what I was saying, like, Urban Meyer does not look like a good coach in the NFL, in my opinion. Just the way the body language, the decision making, the way he looks at the field of the players, he seems kind of lost, in my opinion. And then they were also echoing those same comments that I made, like he looks lost, the body language, the no confidence, the just putting Trevor Lawrence out there to just survive. It's like it doesn't look good, and in my opinion, still to this day, it looks bad, in my opinion. But he ended up winning the starting quarterback job, which caused them to trade Gardner Minshew to the Philadelphia Eagles, and now it's just going to be him, Trevor Lawrence, and C.J. Beathard as the quarterbacks for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in my opinion, I don't know how he won that job. Maybe because like their last preseason game, the Jags started their starters, and then the Cowboys started their second-string players on the defense. So that could be a thing. That could be a reason, but it's just like kind of a little bit of a weak-ass reason, in my opinion. Like, I mean, C.J. Beathard still played better, but we'll see. But it's also because fucking he's the number 1 pick. He's got to be the starting quarterback, right? He kind of has to be. In the day and age of the NFL, if you don't like make the number 1 pick in the draft who's a quarterback, if you don't start him, then he's not going to. People are going to be like, "The fuck were you doing then? Why'd you take him at the first round if you're not going to start him?" Especially the number 1 pick. It is stupid. Yeah, it's stupid, but it's also like, huh. I mean, maybe he just isn't ready. Maybe he's overlooked. Maybe he's overrated. Now, that could be the case with Trevor Lawrence, but it also could be that it's just, precautionary. Like, what if, what there's a lot of things going into it that you try to be cautious around and try not to overthink it or overdo anything, because you just don't know if everything is gonna go the same way that you've been thinking. It's weird, but it's just like it's a game on both fronts. You got to win the battle in the actual football field. You also got to win the decision battle. Like, okay, who do I start? Who do I sit? It's like fantasy football almost, but real life and real people. People that the people that you're coaching, people that are being paid under your team and under your bosses. And it's a business, and fantasy football is not a business. It's just for fun. So yeah, I was kind of surprised about that, how he was starting. But at the end of the day, I get it. I mean, he kind of had to. He was the number one pick, and if he didn't start, then everybody would have been like, Urban Meyer's dumb. Urban Meyer's stupid. Urban Meyer is, this, that, and the other, which I kind of agree to. But also, I don't think that the Jags are just a good team. And he's got a lot of work cut out for him, and he's not going to get it all done in one season, because that can't be done. I just don't see. After the team that we saw last year, winning 1 in 15 games, one game and in 15 losses, it's just not going to happen overnight. It just can't. But let's move on. The Patriots, the New England Patriots. They made some headlines this week. They decided to start Mac Jones for their quarterback, the starting quarterback position, and they cut Cam Newton. Now, this actually kind of baffled me a bit, because I was wondering, well, what did Cam Newton really do that bad to make them go with, okay, we're gonna start Mac Jones, and our backup, get this, guys, is gonna be Brian Hoyer. I mean, I get that Mac Jones won the starting quarterback position. I get it. I get that. He played better. Cam got into a little bit of a sticky situation with COVID. Had to skip some practices, skip some reps, which was detrimental. All right, that made it obvious for Mac Jones to shine more, get more reps, get better, if he really wanted to, which seems like he did. He is the starter. So, that all happened. But, also the fact that he was picked over Brian Hoyer. Now, people are getting crazy about this. People are getting really, I wouldn't say political, but kind of conspiring about it, of why he might have been, let go, why he might have been cut. And people are saying well, Cam Newton is not vaccinated. And I don't even know if Mac Jones or Brian Hoyer are. I don't know if they are or not. But we do know for a fact, it's been proven by ESPN and other outlets, that Cam Newton is not vaccinated. And did that become a thing in the decision to cut him or not? I don't know. I really don't know. I think that it could potentially, because I feel like with Bill Belichick, it's you've got to be willing to do anything. He's a big team guy, right? He's a big you got to be willing to do anything for the team, and to be there every day in case we need you. If you got to step up, maybe you become the starter, maybe you become an option, maybe you become whatever that we need you to be to perform your job, to be a part of the New England Patriots. You got to be able to do that. And I do think it seems with that personality, and if Cam isn't vaccinated, that's obviously going to be a big detrimental problem, because what if he does catch COVID, or he does get into a position where he's been in close contact, and then he's got to be, they got to kick him out for 10 days. He's got to quarantine. He's got to test every day. And also, I believe in the NFL, if you're not vaccinated, you have to test every day no matter what, I think. And I think that if you are vaccinated, I think this is how it is. I think. I could be wrong. I'll check after. But I think that if you are vaccinated and you do get COVID, and then as soon as you get a negative test, you can come back. But if you're not vaccinated and you get a negative test, you still got to wait 10 days. So 10 days in the NFL is a week and a half. Is a week and a half, and it's also a full game. Unless you have a bye week. But that's one full game that you're going to miss, potentially. You could potentially miss too if you got a Thursday night game. So and no bye. So I think that would have been that. I don't want to say that was the full thing, but I just feel like with Belichick and the way he is, and he's so, the thing, do your job, right? Like that's the Patriot way. That's his slogan. That's what he's known for. If for him getting the vaccine is part of your job and you don't do it, I mean, it kind of feels like it kind of goes hand in hand of what he's all about. I mean, I'm just thinking about that. I could be completely wrong, and if I am, that's fine. But if that is the reason, I'm not surprised, because that's just how he is. He's always been about that. Do your job. Do what you're here for. You don't got to be, a diva, a show-off, stand out all the time. You just got to do your job. And if to Bill Belichick, getting vaccinated is part of the job of being in the New England Patriots, then Cam Newton did not do that job, then I guess that's why he cut. Again, I don't know if Brian Hoyer or Mac Jones are vaccinated. I'm sure that they might be, but I don't know. I don't know the full details, but and everybody's kind of like making it a new thing of it's because he's not vaccinated, it's because he's this or that or that. But you also got to kind of like take it back to like, let's just forget about the whole vaccination thing, being vaccinated and his status on that. I mean, in the preseason, right, this past preseason, it's over now, by the way, Cam Newton didn't play that well. He hasn't played that well since he got COVID back last year after the Seahawks game, I think it was. And he just hasn't been playing that well. And it could be because, he could also be injured. I don't know. Maybe he had like long COVID effects after last time he got it. He was very, very protective of his like medical status, which again is fine. It's his choice. If he wants to, he can. He doesn't got to be like, oh, I feel better today or I feel good today. He pretty much had like never spoke about that. So like it could have been that. That's just a speculation. It probably wasn't though. But something happened after he got COVID, and everybody was kind of talking about it, like, well, he's just sucking at it, because before that he was playing pretty good. I mean, he almost won in Seattle, but like they lost at the goal line. But shit happens. And this year, just like, I don't know, it wasn't there. But again, it never really was completely there for Cam and with the Patriots. Like I didn't see it. It wasn't a good fit, I thought. And yeah, everybody can be, everybody has a take on this and everybody has an opinion. But we might never know why he actually got cut. I mean, like, Bill Belichick is not going to answer that question. He might, but if I know Bill Belichick, not personally, but like in press conferences and all that, he's very close to the chest with what he says. Very, very close to the chest. He won't give you anything because he just knows. He knows that you're just there the media's just there for him to get a sound bite or a headline or an article or, a quote that'll put him in a bad light or put him in a bad spot or put him in maybe possibly a good light, bad light, whatever. Because I know that this is also happening with the Jaguars as well. Because essentially, Urban Meyer said like why they it's going to be like a requirement almost to be vaccinated. And what I've been hearing is that, like, yeah, we all know that. Like, I think the NFL like pretty much said that if you're not vaccinated, you're probably going to get kicked off their team or whatever. It all kind of depends on that team. And he actually said it in a press conference though. Like, he said that, and now it's getting investigated and all that. But I think what happened was he said, and like I got this as soon as I saw it, like, oh, he said something that we weren't supposed to hear. Because like now it's like kind of like out there, like of like, players getting vaccinated, who's going to be getting cut? Is it because of this, that? He might have like spilled the beans on the NFL, because I know the NFL, they're a business. They don't want anything hindering their business. And if vaccines are what they require so that they can, play and not, cause much of a distraction or a threat or a rescheduling of games. Because remember last year, they had games being played all over the week. Saturdays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, I think Fridays, but like they had games rescheduled. Remember the Steelers and Ravens game that was supposed to be on Thanksgiving but got pushed to the next week because they had a COVID issue? Like we all agree that COVID is just one of the most annoying things ever. And everybody wants it to just be gone. I mean, I certainly do. Like, I just don't want it here. I'm done with it. But that's not the case. It's not reality. It's going to be here because it's fucking a virus. It just keeps on spreading, and, variants and all that, mutations, this shit happens. And if the NFL's got like a clean-cut like way that they think is going to prevent them from doing that, which is the vaccines that they think, then, and if they imply that, and you don't do that, yeah, you're going to get fired or you're going to get cut. It's just going to happen. They don't want to reschedule the games. They don't want to do mass quarantines, mass lockdowns. They don't want to do that because that's going to affect their business. It's going to affect like the if they're going to play a game, can they play a game, what time they're going to play a game, because they don't want to have games in the weekday at like a 1 o'clock time. They're not going to do that because that's not going to bring as much people into the games. You got to understand that, because like the reason why we have the games on Sundays is because, one, the majority of people are off that time, and two, on Monday night, it's at Monday night. After work, go to the game. Thursday night, they're all at night or on the weekend. I mean, it's just business. That's just how it works. So I agree with the NFL in this, right? They're a business. They got to make it work. Last year, 2020 was a horrible year for all live sports, all sporting events. Like essentially nobody was in the stands at any sport. So how are they making money? How are they paying their salaries? How are they paying, the coaches, the staff, the players, the stadium workers that had to work there for a bit to just to open up the stadium? Who's getting paid here? And how are they getting paid? Remember, we took an entire year off. Pretty much an entire year. Baseball had no fans until the World Series. NBA had no fans until pretty much had no fans last year. NFL only had the fans in the Super Bowl, certain places, and it wasn't even full capacity. I mean, how does that happen? How do you continue to make money and make the sport go and make the franchises go and make the league go if you got no money? So they're going to do all that they can to make sure that it doesn't happen again. They can keep going, keep on trucking, because they don't want to do that again. They know that they can't, and they don't want to. I don't want them to do that either. I don't want to have a game on. I mean, it's kind of nice because I am a fan of football, because the more days with football, the better, in my opinion. But I mean, it's not going to be good for the players, and they already don't want to have a 17 game season. They already don't want that. I want that because I'm a damn fan. I want more football, right? But they don't, because that's just going to add more chances for injuries and workloads and load management and all that, and all that. It's just going to be overdone. I get it. I understand that. But if the vaccine's really going to prevent everybody from, the entire team from getting locked down or shut down or whatever, and if those are going to be the rules, then, I mean, you just got to play with the rules, I guess, right? I don't know. It's a tough situation, because it's like, there's still some people that just don't want to get the vaccine. They just don't want to get it. A lot of the NFL players don't want to get it. Coaches don't want to get it. And I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm so glad I'm not Roger Goodell or a general manager or an owner of the team. I mean, I think during Hard Knocks, everybody has the vaccine on that team, I think. No, actually, no, I don't think so. But Jerry Jones has got every shot you can get. He's like, yeah, everybody here's vaccinated. I got more shots than a Cocker Spaniel. He was saying he's everybody's he's prepared, because he wants to get back to normal. He wants to be able to go to his games and do this shit, do all that. So it's bro, I mean, I don't know. It's just too there's it's dumb. It's really dumb, and it's going to keep continuing. I mean, they've already fired so many coaches because of this. They haven't gotten rid of many players, I think, because I know that Cole Beasley was big anti-vax, and he's still on the Bills, I think. I know that. So is DeAndre Hopkins on the Cardinals, but he's not going to go to work because he's DeAndre Hopkins. But I don't know, man. And there's got to be so many other people that just, players that don't have the vaccine, that we're just not, they don't tell us. But it's I mean, I don't know. It's such a bad situation, man. It's really bad if you think about it, not just in sports, but the entire world. this has really like put into his perspective of another type of like cautionary fear, not necessarily fear, but like just precautions and safety and all that. You know what? You know what? What I will say this. I also like I thank God I haven't gotten COVID. No COVID. I'm good. But I also haven't gotten like the flu or the cold or anything really. Like I feel good. It's strange, but I haven't gotten any type of sick this past year since Corona arrived in the States back in 2020. At least that we think. I haven't gotten any type of sick. I think there was one time I got like a cold, but I think it was because like I was staying up late one night and I was in the living room and it was kind of cold there. And immediately the day after, I felt like chilly, and then it went away. It was like, all right, this can't be COVID then. Because I didn't lose my taste or my smell. I'm like, all right, I'm cool then. But yeah, I haven't gotten sick, so that's actually a good thing. And, maybe, when it's going to get colder and all that in the winter, and, it's just going to be people in houses more, because, again, it's already September, guys. I mean, it's about to be, it's pretty much going to be fall soon. This is my favorite time of year, by the way. And we'll be inside more. Gatherings will be more inside as it gets colder. Whether that be a good thing or a bad thing, maybe mask up a bit. I don't know. I might, because I'll tell you this: when I wore a mask last year, I didn't get sick. Any type of sick. Maybe that's just because maybe it's not. Look, it is annoying to wear a mask a lot. It is, but also like if it's going to prevent you from getting sick, I mean, I'm all for it because I don't like getting sick. I just don't. Everybody says like, oh, I'll get the flu, whatever, I'll get it and I'll pass. Like, no. I mean, a couple years ago, I had the flu, right? I got the flu back in 2019, before any of this, like early 2019, like maybe, I think it was May 2019, May or April, and I was sick for an entire month because like I got the flu, pretty much confirmed. Like I went to go to the urgent care, I got a nose swab. They said it was like a strain of the flu, and that it was just like, it's going to be, here's some like antibiotics or whatever they give me, like not antibiotics, what is it, Theraflu. And I took that, and because I remember I went in and I had like 104 fever. It was just so bad, like, and that was like the second week of it, like I couldn't get over it, and I was just like terribly, terribly sick. And that lingered on for like a week, maybe two after that, and I had to call out of work because I could not go to work. Also, like, even back then, when people would go to work, even though that they just had the cold or a mild case of the flu, like, why are you even going to work? Just stay home, man. You're gonna get people sick. And I think now with this, pandemic, it's kind of like reassuring, like, oh yeah, like even if we're just like, got a head cold or got a cold, fucking stay home. Nobody wants a sick ass at work. And also for COVID as well, but like even if you're like feeling under the weather, just don't come to work. I feel like back before COVID, like people would just go to work all the time, even though when they were fucking sick. Even back when I was in school, like you would have somebody like, back in high school, like a kid would come to school, and you would just hear like all the fucking mucus in his throat. Like there would be like a dam of mucus clogging up his throat, and he'd just be coughing the entire day, sick as shit. And like, bro, what the fuck you doing here? You stupid. Maybe I'm just a bitch and I don't want to get sick, but also like, oh, I'll get sick, I'll be fine. And I'm not just talking about COVID, but anything. It's like, do you really want to get sick? Do you enjoy getting sick? Maybe it's just because of your immune system. Maybe mine sucks, but I don't enjoy getting sick. I hate it. Absolutely hate it, and I want to avoid it at all costs. Just avoid it. It's annoying because it stunts your day, your week, your month. Like I was saying, I was sick for a month. Got the flu. Then after that, it mutated. Got a sinus infection. That was fucking worse. I couldn't go like 3 minutes without blowing my nose and getting a bunch of green gunk out of there. Because if you don't know, that's what it is. A sinus infection is just like a buildup of pressure in your sinuses. It was weird because the back of my eyes were in pain. I've never had that before. I didn't even know what that was. I was just like, why the fuck does my brain and my eyes hurt? Went to the doctor. I'm like, hey, I'm back. How you doing? And then they're like, oh yeah, your fucking ear is infected. I'm like, and what? Like, you got a sinus infection. Here's some antibiotics. I'm like, great, bro. I got the flu now, a sinus infection. I'm fucking stupid. Yeah. But yeah, that might be where we're heading. Back to another winter of getting sick and more pandemic. It might be, but it also might not. Who knows? I hope it doesn't. Just so you know, I'm not rooting for this. I don't want this to happen. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's annoying. It's really just a hindrance on life. But I don't want to get sick, man. I just don't want to get sick. I don't want to catch COVID. I really don't. Everybody says like you're gonna get it. I don't want to catch it. I really don't. I don't know how I'll handle it. I know I'm not like old or anything like that, or like immunocompromised, or like have like an underlying condition, but like I don't want to get it though. I really don't. I don't want to chance it. I don't want to say like it's in my body. I don't want to surrender that victory. I already did to Fortnite, so I can't sacrifice another loss this year. I just can't. I can't be 0 for 2. I'm already 0 for 1. I can't do it. Anyway, I'm going to end it there, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And if you did, if you forgot, again, next week is starting. Podcast will be out Thursday mornings and not Thursday nights, so you can wake up and listen to my voice, chat about shit, chat about stupid shit, chat about sports, chat about milk, chat about animals, chat about potentially good things, video games, movies, aliens maybe. I don't know. That's probably not going to happen though. Sports, scores. We're starting up football soon. Soon after that will be the NBA. The baseball playoffs are going to start soon. The postseason, can't wait. Dodgers, man, back in first place in the NL West, looking very, very good. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, you can find this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. And I will see you guys next week.